Hello everyone, this is Dr. Hemangusti Sharma. I do welcome you all to the series of lectures on the communication system. So in the first talk, we will have a basic introduction on it. So main outline of this talk is to have the basic information about the block diagram of the communication. We'll define what is modulation. We'll understand about it, the different types of modulations. So let's start with the word communication. What do we mean by communication? Communication means interaction. So interaction between two persons, interactions between two individuals to share informations and they express their feelings. So it is the exchange of information via any medium. In ordinary case, it may be speaking, writing, some recitation of poems, or anything which can transfer information from one place to another. Maybe from a person to a person, or maybe from a person to a society, or maybe from a society to some other society. The communication is an act of providing, acquiring, and or sharing information. So let's understand the importance of the communication. Why communication is important? So communication is important for the development and the growth of the society, as we are actually interaction, as we are going to have the exchange of informations and interaction between the different parts of the society. So this will definitely help for the growth of the society. It will help for the sharing information and transferring data from one place to another, and also it connects a person to the society. So in this talk we are going to discuss about the communication system, I mean electronic communication system, where we can send data digitally or some electronic medium from one place to another. So starting with a basic block diagram of the communication system. So in electronics we have three different parts of the communication. First one is the transmitter, where the signal get transmitted, and the transmitted signal reach the receiver through a channel. The channel may be a wired channel or maybe a wireless channel. So in the and finally the signal get received in the receiver. In the transmitter part, the information may be any kind of information is encoded to its electrical counterpart, and before the modulation takes place. The modulated signal is used for the transmission through the channel, and in the receiver the signals get demodulated very first of all, and after that we have to decode it to get the proper signal, as we have used earlier in the transmission part. So let's understand what do we mean by modulation. So modulation means the change. It is the process of changing some physical characteristic like amplitude, frequency, or phase of a carrier wave in accordance with the intensity of the signal. So why we need modulation? It is an effective transmission process. The energy loss is always keep minimum. That's our main motive for that. And we have to make the noise to signal ratio minimum. So in ordinary case, when we want to transmit a signal without modulation, the signal get interrupted with different noises. But in later case, when we are allowing the signal from transmitter to receiver through some modulation, so there is always less and less chance that the signal get affected by different noise signals. So we have different types of modulations. One is the amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulation. In amplitude modulation, the amplitude of the high frequency carrier waves changes in accordance with the intensity of the signal. In frequency modulation, the amplitude of the carrier is kept constant, whereas the frequency of the carrier is varied by the modulating signal. Whereas in phase modulation, phase of the carrier is altered in accordance to the modulating signal. So we are ending this the first talk on the communication system. In the next talk, we are going to discuss about the amplitude modulation.